really just loved travel. And what I wanted to do was keep on seeing new places all the time. And I got very lucky. I made that first video and people started watching it, and it became a way for me to continue traveling. Then as I did it more and more, and especially once I had kids and became a dad, it became about a lot more than just myself and having a wonderful time. It became about what I'd seen in traveling to all these places, which was that people were a lot friendlier and a lot more open than I thought before I started traveling. I thought the world was a really dangerous place. I thought it was really scary, and that there were good guys and bad guys, and then when I started traveling, I realized that's not the case. Everywhere I've gone, people have welcomed me, and I wanted to create something that showed that other people can watch the video and get that sense of what I experienced just by watching the video.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Matt. So. Okay, lovely. Thank you, Matt. So where's Patricia? These are your 2 warm-up questions, Matt, and then you've got a really difficult one.
Okay.
Right. Patricia, say hello to Matt.
Hello.
Hi, Patricia.
How did you get the people to join you?
Good question. Okay, how did I get people to join me? Well, when I made my very first video, it was just me by myself. And then I didn't even put it on YouTube. You guys all know YouTube? You know what YouTube is? I didn't put the video on YouTube, but somebody else put it up for me. And I found it there. And hundreds of thousands of people had watched it. And the first thing that most people said when they watched the video was, I want you to come to where I live and dance with me. So I started collecting all these emails from people, and I got thousands and thousands of emails from all over the world saying, come and dance with me. So I planned a trip around the world, and I wrote back to them, and I said, all right, I've come to where you live, meet me in this park at this time, and come out and dance with me. And they did.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Patricia.
Okay, Amelia. Now, this question, Matt, specifically relates to your 2012 film, which is the one that we're using to inspire everything that we're doing this week. All right? You ready, Amelia?
Hello.
Hi.
Why did you dance with a seal, not a horse?
Did you get that?
No, can you repeat that?
Even louder, Amelia.
Why did you dance with a seal, not a horse?
Why did I dance with a seal and not a horse?
Yes!
That's a good question. Okay. Well, seals are one of very few animals that can be trained ethically to dance. A lot of animals don't want to dance. Horses, actually, I guess horses can sort of dance, but I couldn't find any that would dance with me. However, I was able to find a seal that would dance with me in California.
Yeah.
Okay. Good, thank you, Amelia. Right, they get better. So this is a question from Lauren. Where's Lauren? Now this is a question that was very, very popular, Matt. Lots of children in school wanted to know about logistics, really. So, Lauren, come on.
Okay.
Say hello to Matt.
Hello.
Hi, Lauren.
How many clothes did you take and how did you wash them?
How many pants?
Did you take? How many clothes did you take and how did you wash them?
How many clothes do I take? Okay. These are very thoughtful questions. I pack, let's see, I would go on trips for maybe 1 or 2 months at a time. And I think I would probably bring enough clothes usually to go for 6 or 7 days. And I would try and stop and do some laundry about once a week. So yeah, about let's say 1 week's worth of clothes. And that can go for any length of time. I could go for 6 months or a year and just have that 1 week's worth of clothes. It gets pretty boring after a while wearing the same thing every day, but if you take much more than that, you're going to be carrying a really, really big bag.
Thank you.
Okay, Oliver. You touched on this at the start, Matt, but this is a question that we've been very interested in as well. Oliver, say hello to Matt.
All right.
Hello.
Hi, Oliver.
Were you afraid to go to some countries?
Was I afraid to go to some countries?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely was. There were countries that I had heard a lot of things about, that they were dangerous. And in fact, I've been to some countries where it was and still is illegal to dance. So I was particularly concerned about that. But some countries that I was scared to go to were Afghanistan, because there was a long ongoing war at the time, still is, sort of. There are a lot of dangerous things that go on in Afghanistan. But when I went there, I went to a juggling academy. I found out about a man who built a school for kids to learn how to juggle. And even though dancing is illegal, and in particular, men and women can't dance together in Afghanistan, they can juggle because they don't have any laws against juggling. So I was able to juggle there safely and not getting anyone in trouble. And in addition to that, I was able to walk around in Kabul, go to shops and meet people and eat at restaurants and see a side of it that was different than what I'd seen, and found out that there are a lot of nice people that are just like people everywhere else, even there. I went to Pakistan as another country that was similar. Well, there's North Korea. I don't know if you guys know much about North Korea, but that's another country where it's very. Do you guys know what the word isolated means? Isolated means they don't talk to a lot of other people. Imagine a country where no one in the country is allowed to talk to anyone from outside the country. It's very, very isolated and not very friendly to other countries. But when I went there, once again, I found out the people, not the leaders of the country, not the government, but the people who live there were actually very, very friendly and excited to meet me. And they smiled, and I had a great time, and I got to dance with them. Once again, the places that I was scared to go to before I went, I ended up not being scared once I was there.
Thank you.
Okay, Leon. Leon, where are you? Have you come?
Hi, Liam.
Hi. How did you communicate with people in the different countries?
How did I communicate in the different countries?
Yeah.
So I pretty much just speak English. I speak un poco de español, a tiny little bit of Spanish, which is helpful in a lot of countries, but there's a lot more where they don't speak any English or Spanish. But actually, you know what? I should correct myself, because the big thing that I learned in traveling is I'm very, very lucky to speak English. And so are you guys, because it is widely spoken all over the world. And there are actually, here's a statistic, there are 1 billion people in the world right now learning to speak English so they can talk to you. And almost any country in the world you go to, when you stay at a hotel or when you get in a taxi cab or when you go to a restaurant, there's going to be someone who speaks English. And that's an amazing thing about the world in 2016. It didn't used to be that way. It used to be that if you only spoke English and you went all around the world, you wouldn't be able to communicate. But now you can. And that's an amazing thing and an amazing reason to go travel. I would like to tell you that I speak many different languages, and someday I hope to. But it's also true that you can get by pretty well traveling with just English. And then I always try to learn a few words in any language, in any country that I'm in, and I call them sort of the courtesy words, the words that you say to be polite. Of course, hello and goodbye and thank you and please and I'm sorry and yes and no. And that doesn't take long. That takes about 2 minutes to learn those basic words to be able to talk to people. And you can get pretty far on those.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, Lily May. So we've seen lots of different people wearing different things in your videos, Matt. And this is a question about that.
Hello.
Hi.
What was your favourite outfit that you've seen someone wear?
Okay. All right, I have to think. I bet that I want to go back and watch my videos now. I bet there's some really good ones. Well, in India, one of my favorite clips in the videos is in Gurgaon in India, where we did a sort of a Bollywood dance clip. And the dancers who showed up to dance with me wore some pretty fantastic dresses, and the men wore some amazing clothes too. That was a great experience. Those were beautiful clothes. Also in Costa Rica, which is in Central America, we did a traditional dance there, and the women, the girls all showed up in really colorful dresses, which they could dance with. They could kind of spin around. That was another good one that I remember. Do you have a favorite?
No.
Okay. Well, those are two that I can think of.
Thank you.
The Costa Rica one is in 2012, your film.
That's right.
So you can see that one later. It's towards the end of the film, I think. Daisy. Where's Daisy? Right.
Hello.
Hi, Daisy.
Were any of the countries different to what you thought they would be like?
Were the countries, which countries were, can you repeat the question?
Were any of the countries different to what you thought they would be like?
Were any of the countries different to what I thought they would be like? Let me think for a minute. I mean, there's always surprises. I would say that my favorite countries that I've been to are usually the ones that I know the least about before I go there. Countries like Namibia or Mongolia, or there's a country in the Pacific Ocean called the Federated States of Micronesia. And I knew almost nothing about it before I went. So it was all discovery. And it seems like the places that we hear about and see the least have some really interesting things going on. So I would just see a lot of surprising, amazing things. But as far as countries that were different than I thought they were going to be, I have to run through a lot of countries in my head to check. I'm not thinking of a good answer to your question right now.
Thank you.
Good go. Right.
Now, Matt, one of the things that we've been doing, we started this year in school, is something called Philosophy for Children.
Okay.
So we're doing a lot of philosophy, and this question has definitely come from one of our young philosophers. So
Okay.
wind yourself up for this one.
All right.
Danielle, where are you?
Hi.
All right. Hi.
Is dance more powerful than words?
Ooh. Well, that's an excellent question. Dance is one of very few things that almost everyone does. Almost every human, and you could pretty much just say every human dances. And there's only a few things like that. We all sleep, we all eat, we all go to the bathroom, and we all dance. And so for that reason, I think it's very powerful, and it expresses emotion. When you try to express your emotion in words, it can be really difficult to find the right words. And you might feel like you've come close, but not quite gotten to exactly how you feel. But sometimes dance can express in a really, really pure way exactly how you feel. And it can be something that everyone understands. So when I started making this video, I wasn't thinking about that. It was just a simple, goofy thing to do. And I accidentally stumbled into something very powerful. And clearly, for all the people who've watched the video and taken things from the video, seeing people just be silly and smile and move their body around has something very powerful to it. So I'm really lucky to have been able to find that and use it.
Oliver.
Another Oliver. Hi, Oliver.
Hi. Who or what inspires you?
Who inspired me?
Yeah.
Well, there are people who inspire me, but they're not people who do things similar to what I do. There aren't a lot of people who do things similar to what I do. I mean, there's certainly people who travel a lot, and there are people who dance, but I suppose it's more writers and sometimes comedians and things like that. But I'll tell you, my favorite writer is a guy named Kurt Vonnegut. And he's written a number of books, and a few of them really changed the way I thought, and inspired me to go and travel and see the world for myself. So, trying to think of some other good ones that I can point you to. But that's a tough question that I don't get asked very often, so I'm not able to think of very many. Sorry, Oliver, but there's one. Kurt Vonnegut. Someday maybe you'll read Slaughterhouse-Five, or Breakfast of Champions, or even Sirens of Titan, and maybe you'll find something in it similar to what I found.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, two more, Matt. One from Flo. Where's Flo?
Hello.
Hi, Flo.
What has been your favourite memory of making the films?
What is my favorite memory from making the films?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, there's a whole bunch of good ones. One of the most remarkable things, and I think back to this moment a lot, I got to go to Antarctica. And just getting to go to Antarctica at all, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's a real privilege to have been able to have that experience and go to a place that not many people have gone to. And then to find out that you could, first of all, when I went to Antarctica, I saw probably 10,000 penguins. I thought I was just going to see a lot of snow and ice, but there were seals everywhere, there were whales, there were penguins, there was wildlife all over the place. So it was amazing to get to see that. And I remember one day on Antarctica, I got to hike up, not quite a mountain, but a very big hill. And we walked up it, and then when it was time to get back down, I realized, well, I can just sit down and sled down this hill in Antarctica. And I did, and it was a lot of fun. And getting to go sledding in Antarctica is one of those things that I go back to in my head all the time. And it always makes me happy to think about. So that was one of my favorite memories. Getting to go scuba diving. Oh, wow. I remember once I was in the Galapagos Islands, and I was with my partner, Melissa, who's asleep upstairs. And we were snorkeling in the Galapagos Islands, and two sea lions came up to play with us. And sea lions we talked about dancing with one earlier. When they're in the water, they're kind of like puppies. They're kind of like dogs. They're very playful. And they came up to us and swam around us, and were really just playing with us. They wanted to be silly. And then I remember that in that very moment, while we were playing with a couple of sea lions in the Galapagos Islands, something swam right over my shoulder, and it was going very, very fast, and I could feel the water push against me. And I looked over, and it was a penguin. They have penguins in Antarctica. And while I was playing with some sea lions, a penguin swam by. So that is one of my favorite memories from traveling.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've asked all of our big questions, Matt, to you, but there is one more question that Matilda wants to ask you on behalf of everybody, I think,
All right.
seeing as we've got you on camera at the moment. Matilda.
Thank you for talking to us, Matt. Can you do some dancing for us, please?
Absolutely. All right, I'll get right to it. I'm going to set it up. So are you guys going to dance, or am I just dancing by myself?
Oh, hold on. Give me that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Matt. You may be very good at travelling around the world. You clearly haven't worked with a hall full of school children. We're just going to watch this one.
Okay, great. You ready, guys?
Are we ready?
All right, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
If he does answer, you can all give him a big cheer again. Here we go.
Right.
Okay, Matt, we were just in the middle of saying a really nice goodbye to you, and then we got cut off.
Oh, well, thanks so much. That was pretty good timing. I'm glad it didn't happen earlier. Thanks so much for having me. I hope you guys have a good time this week with the, or whichever week it was with the.
We're in the middle of it now. We are right in the middle of Where is Matt Week now.
In the middle. Well, I hope you have a great time with the project. I hope it goes well, and thanks for watching my videos, and I hope you enjoy them.
Thank you very, very much indeed. Let's give Matt a really big round of applause and say thank you. And we believe, Matt, that
such great questions, by the way.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Sid. Very good questions. We believe, Matt, that you're making another film this year and that you're coming over to England.
That's right. I'll be coming over in about a month.
And so we're going to share that date with everybody, and you may find that some of us turn up to come and say hello to you there.
Great.
Best of luck. Enjoy Canada. Thanks again, Matt. Bye-bye.